17. I'm just going to talk a little bit what's been on my mind about doubt, negativity, the poison that it is, and what is the antidote. Well, the antidote is gratitude. Gratitude just kills doubt and negativity. Even if you have to force yourself to do it, sometimes I do. I have to literally force myself to be grateful for what the things that I list. And by the end of it, I always feel at least somewhat better than when I started. Whenever I even feel my mind starting to go into this negative kind of down spiral, I try to immediately intervene with the gratitude list. Immediately. Don't let it fester. Because the longer I sit in that stuff, the more, parts of my brain and attention and focus that it takes over. People are going to fail you. People will judge you. Either way, eventually, pretty much everyone is going to have some sort of conflict with you at some point. There's going to be some hurting going along, whether it's you being hurt or them. And sometimes when, I hold on to things a little longer than I should. So sometimes, in the midst of all this stuff, I feel very alone. Like it's just me and the Lord. Sometimes it doesn't even, if I'm not spiritually trying to work my, way out of whatever I'm going through, or just at least being daily or, active in my faith, I could even feel cut off from that. And that's truly darkness, They say with a believer that he never truly leaves, but sometimes I know there's some believers out there that know what I'm talking about, where it really feels like he does, and it feels like you're alone. But I find a lot of comfort in the fact that I'm never alone with Jesus, and but sometimes just that comfort of isolation and fear of being vulnerable compromises who I want to be. I want to serve the Lord and I want to be helpful to my community and the people around me. Not always, I use discernment for sure. But yeah, I find myself, not embracing the fact that I may be hurt or something may go wrong, and instead stressing and avoiding it, which in return compromises pretty much my mission with the Lord, you know. Um, and I see it a lot of places too. Like everybody wears these masks, especially in the church. In the church I go to, there's a lot of masks that I see. People are afraid to be vulnerable, maybe for different reasons, but you know, the Lord will use whatever you're going through, whatever suffering is going on, for the better. Of either you or your, whether you or your peers or as a whole. But don't run from your suffering, embrace it, and also don't kind of like just drown in the negativity of it either. There's always like there's always some sort of lesson to be learned. Um, Always. And I say this to myself because this is something I do. is run from my suffering. Obviously, with the history of addiction, obviously, it kind of goes with the territory, but even into sobriety, there's other ways that I seem to be running from my calling in a way, my, self-interpreted calling. So, yeah, don't run from it. Embrace it. And it's hard. And don't repay evil for evil. Saying two wrongs don't make a right. And pursuing this life, I try to approach it with extreme humility. I mean, some of that may even stem from self-esteem issues and whatever like that, but it's a very delicate territory with this. And I see some of my fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, act like they're almost sinless and very judgmental. And it's very cringy and disgusting to watch. I've said this in a few other ones. I'm a terrible person. I'm a sinner. I have a terrible past. Sometimes the present isn't always that great. uh, Stay humble. There was only one perfect person, that is Jesus. Bring people to the church with love, not being right. People don't care about right. Hurting people care about love. Thanks for watching. Stay humble.